We're here with Jim Rogers, CEO of Duke Energy. Thanks so much for giving us some of your time.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Well, today's a pretty historic day. You were able to witness something pretty cool. Can you give us a little information about what happened earlier today?
I was honored to be invited by Senator Kerry to the unveiling of the American Power Act. He and Senator Lieberman were there, and there were representatives from corporate America, from the religious community, from the environmental communities around our country in support of this bill, which would put a price on carbon, and most importantly, at the end of the day, a cap on emissions, and will lead to a stronger economy in the future.
Talk to us about what the cap would look like for the government and how we could implement that.
I think what's significant about this bill, it is structured in a way to minimize the cost impact on consumers, particularly electric consumers of companies that supply electricity from coal. And it helps them make the transition to a low carbon world in a way where they don't see their electric prices fly up, but kind of smooths out the cost impact over time.
As a delegate of the utility or the energy industry, what do you have to do as a company in order to communicate this new legislation with your customers?
We need to make it clear that by 2050, we have to retire and replace every plant that we operate today except our hydro facilities. So with or without this legislation, we've got to start down the road. What this legislation does give us a roadmap. We'll make more informed decisions and translate into lower prices over time. So to me, this is a key roadmap for us going forward.
There's obviously the benefit of carbon, but this is also a jobs bill as well. Can you shed some light on that?
Sure. I mean, today we're building 2 coal plants, 2 gas plants. We're going to have 5,000 people employed. And as a consequence of that, we're going to shut down 50 to 70-year-old plants that are high-emitting plants. And so we've created, that's an example of how we're creating jobs, shutting down old plants, but building more modernized, more efficient, lower emitting facilities for the future.
And do you see a lot of these jobs coming from energy efficiency solutions or other areas, other sectors?
I think it's across the board. It's from not just from new coal plants or gas plants or nuclear plants or wind or solar, but the emphasis on energy efficiency has got to be paramount. It's a low-cost investment. It means people changing values, but it also means companies like ours stepping up and taking as our mission to help our consumers use energy even more wisely than they do today.
So what are some of the roadblocks that this announcement has in order to fully get it passed?
Well, it's like all legislation. We have 40 legislative days, plus or minus, before the election. They haven't finished the financial bill. They have other legislation they have to finish. They have a very crowded agenda. And the conventional wisdom is it won't get done this year. But I'm hoping that lightning strikes and we can make this happen. And I came from the press conference today with a good feeling that we can get it going. Because if we can pass this legislation, it's one step in the direction of helping us get our mojo back in our economy, and that is important for the future.
Final question, this is more of a personal question. I'm curious to know why you do the things that you do.
Well, I've been a CEO for 21 years. Started my career as a consumer advocate. I believe I have a mission. I mean, I wake up every morning knowing that I transform the lives of 11 million people who are using electricity that we produce. I also wake up every morning with the notion that I'm in a position to shape energy and environmental legislation that will not only affect people today, but future generations. And that really motivates me and gives me the passion that I have to get out and get going and make something happen.
Well, Jim, thanks so much for your time. We're
Thank
glad
you.
that you're able to take part in EE Global today and in the conference with Senator Kerry and Senator Lieberman. We wish you continued success. And we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.